Hello, dot hackers. Today I'm going to teach you how I created TwitchPlaysFragment and TwitchPlaysVersus. For those of you who don't know, every Friday we have Fragment Friday, and recently every Wednesday we have Versus Wednesday. So what I did was I created a Twitch Plays Pokemon style for Fragment and Versus by only using just a few small programs. I have OBS Studio as my streaming service, which goes to twitch.tv/dothack network, all one word. And in the chat box, you can type in the letters you see on the controller on screen here. If you type in Q, the Q button will be pressed in the game. Press T, the triangle button will be pressed in the game. If you type up, the up on the left analog stick will move up. If you type in A in chat, the left directional button will be pressed. So all of this can happen just by using the twitch.tv app or from a web browser on twitch.tv/dothack network, whichever the game we're playing that week. So whether it's dothack Fragment on PCSX2 emulator, or if it's dothack Versus on the RPCS3 emulator, the Twitch chat interprets your input into the game and will replay that information on screen. So as you see here, this is my OBS Studio. Title is Twitch Plays Fragment, description, category, and the automatic tags. Now down here we have scene 1, and then we have sources. Now, originally when I set this up, I didn't have any of these Twitch overlays, which does come in handy so you can see when things are actually happening on screen. So if someone were to subscribe, the alert will go off. View counter, you'll see right down here on the bottom right. If I hide the controller, you can see people in the Twitch chat is 0 at the moment because it's not on. And in the chat box up here on the top left, you'll see the chat and the buttons that people are typing into the Twitch chat. And then below that, we have the two emulators, PCSX2 for PlayStation 2 and RPCS3 for PlayStation 3. And both are currently set to on. So the first thing you're going to need, besides a streaming software like OBS, you're going to need the emulators, which instructions on how to do those are available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dothack network. But you're also going to need these programs. So the main one we're using today is going to be called TwitchPlaysX. Now, TwitchPlaysX was inspired by Twitch Plays Pokemon, and it uses JavaScript and Python to do all of its processing. So basically, it listens onto the Twitch chat for a specified channel, in this case, dothack network, and it able to output specified commands that you assign. So if you don't remember, Twitch Plays Pokemon was basically like this. Now, Pokemon is not a real-time game. It pretty much is you do your command and your command is performed, but nothing else happens during that time, except maybe for some minor events. But when you're playing Fragment, there is no pause. There is no wait for the monsters. Everything's happening in real time. Same thing with dothack Versus. Everything's happening in real time because it's an arcade fighting style game. So why bother making this? Why bother setting up a Twitch Plays Fragment, Twitch Plays Versus? It's more meant to demonstrate that the games are working, that the games are in English, and that the games can be played today, whatever the year may be, whether it's 2021 or 2022. It's meant to demonstrate it can be done. You can do it if you put the time and effort to set it all up for yourself. So this is not a demonstration on how to do the Twitch Plays. It's more of a demonstration that these games are working today, even though they have been abandoned back in 2005 and 2010. So Fragment can be played on a real PlayStation 2 hardware today, and dothack Versus has always been available to play online. It's just that there's not that much people engaged in playing it every day. So the lobbies on dothack Versus seems pretty empty. But this is why we have Discord and our social media to get people engaged and setting up schedules to be playing these games. And that's why we have TwitchPlaysFragment on Fridays and dothack Versus on Wednesdays. So this TwitchPlaysX scripts here requires many different things on your part. For example, we need the TMI JavaScript, which can be downloaded here on this GitHub. Then you need Node.js, which can be downloaded from the main site nodejs.org. And then, of course, it's going to need Python to set everything all up. So if you just follow the installation notes on github.com/hzoo/TwitchPlaysX, follow the instructions on how to set everything all up, and you can set up your own TwitchPlaysFragment, TwitchPlaysVersus, or TwitchPlays whatever you want, as long as you have the option to assign keys and use the keyboard on whatever game you want. For example, here they're using Visual Boy Advance to play a game. So first thing you're going to need to download is Python. You'll need to download for whatever operating system you have. I have Windows, so I would download the Windows version. Then you need Pywin32 for Windows as well. And then, like it said earlier, you're going to need Node.js. I have Windows, so the window installer is the one I would use. And then, of course, you're going to need TwitchPlaysX and TMI.js. Once you follow all those instructions and set it all up, you should have something that looks just like this. You have a folder called Node Modules, config.js, key.py, keyhandler.js, server.js, and tmi.js. Once you have all that set up, you're going to go and click on config.js. And in here, you'll see change these two variables. So for the first thing is you need to change is what the channel is going to be. In this case, it's dothack network, all one word. Then you need to know what program you want this thing to be putting the commands into. In this case, it's PCSX.2. Then you want to whitelist what letters or words that you want the Twitch chat to obtain. So if someone were in Twitch chat and they type in W, then it's going to listen. If someone were to type in what, it's not going to listen. Or WH, it's not going to listen. Or WA all on one line, it will not listen. It's just looking for individual lines. And if the individual line says W, then it's going to listen. Now down here, you do have an option for delay, but I have found that it makes really no difference. I mean, you can extend the lag, but going too fast would be even worse. So I have it set for 10. And then time to wait as well. So that's all set up. Then you need to modify key.py. So right here, this is where you sign what letters are going to interpret into what keyboard button you want to be pressed. So W, if you look right here, it says Microsoft.com. You go to this little virtual key codes, and you're going to get a list of every key on your keyboard and what the code is for that key. For example, the pause key is 0x13. Or if you're using the numpad, number 8 is 0x38. You need to assign everything here on this key map. For D-pad up, left, right, down, R stick, up, left, down, right. For the left stick, up, left, down, right, triangle, square, cross, circle. You can type whatever you want. This is just how I set up mine. T for triangle, Q for square, X for cross, O for circle. L1, L2, R3, R1, R2, R3, start and select. So those have all been defined. And then key handler, once again, you want to double up on all that key map information, as you see right there. And server.js, you don't need to do anything for this one. But once those main three things on these three files you see here have been configured, then you're ready to move on to the next step. When you installed Node.js, you had this little desktop icon called Node.js command prompt. If you launch this, you're going to navigate to this folder right here, TwitchPlaysX. For me, it's under users, aka NE, documents, TwitchPlaysX. So by default, it's already on C users, aka NE. So I'm going to do change directory, CD, and we're going to go to documents. And then we're going to go to change directory, CD, TwitchPlaysX. Now we're on this folder here. Now what you're going to type in is npm space start. And then it's going to do its own little thing for a second. And then it's going to say it's listening to Twitch chat. So here we go. Connected to /dothack network. Connected, waiting for messages. So if I were to go to a Chrome browser, or whatever you want, in the chat, which we can't do because it's not streaming, so let's go ahead and start the stream. Oops. Start stream. We're live now, but there's nothing input because I don't have the emulator running. But I type in words like what, hello, and you can see right here on my browser, it's showing up there, and it's showing up over here in the Twitch chat. And it's also being emulated also over onto the OBS because we have the Twitch chat box showing, but nothing is being sent over on the npm. It's blank. Now let's say if I were to type in just W. Now all of a sudden it's showing up as W because that's one of the whitelisted things it's looking for. So let's go ahead and load an emulator. We're going to do PCSX2 and we're going to run dothack fragment. So the game is finally loaded. So whatever we type in the Twitch chat on this browser, you're going to see it pop up over here onto the Node.js screen. But the most important thing you need to do is you need to have the emulator window open. This must be the most active window on your desktop. So if I were to click on OBS, PCSX2 is not the active window, and if I were to type something in Twitch chat, it should not respond to that. So let's type in S to go down. So as you see, nothing moved down because the PCSX2 window is not the active window right now. So if I put this on top, I go back to the Twitch chat, push in S, now it moves down. So it's very important that you have the PCSX2 window on top. So now it will start listening to all my commands. So if I were to use O to hit circle, it will go to the next screen. And as you see, there is a delay, and that's because of the streaming software. So we go ahead and hit O. Show again to connect. And this will take me to the online portion of dothack Fragment, all in English. So this little pop-up comes up, hit O again. Then we're going to go up with the D-pad. So we're going to use W. Push O one more time. Then we get to select a character. As I previously mentioned, playing TwitchPlaysFragment over the chat box is going to be very difficult to actually enjoy the game because of the delay that you see going on. This is meant to encourage you to go ahead and install PCSX2 on your PC or play dothack Fragment on a PS2 if you have free McBoot. This is just to prove that it is a working concept that you can play these games today. However, let's say you don't have a PlayStation 2 and you don't have a powerful enough PC, you could play Fragment through this method right here on twitch.tv/dothack network. I have set the characters to be level 99 through Cheat Engine. You can modify the levels of your characters to be whatever level you want, and this way your character doesn't immediately die. Let's say you make a level 1 character on TwitchPlaysFragment, your character is going to get killed off pretty quickly very often, and it won't be very much enjoyment. So that's why they're level 99. So to take account that the delay in the commands and what you see on screen, so your character doesn't just die because you go into a monster fight. Now, we can go ahead and hit circle to load the character, circle again, go up, circle one more time. And you can plan your commands ahead of time. I mean, if you know how to navigate through dothack Fragment, you can just go ahead and start making a list of all the commands. So I can go circle, which will take us to the lobby. Now I know if I hit circle again, it's going to hit the first lobby, and if I hit T for triangle, it's going to open up the area server. Hit circle to accept, hit circle again. So I'm typing all these out in advance, and it's just catching up. So if I wanted to go to Hankeek University Station, that's down 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Oh, 1, 2, 3 times. So we hit S, 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 and O. And we're going to go up with W, and then O again. Oh, that's right. It's left. But it still worked. And look at that. We're already in the game. So if you know the commands, you can plan ahead. So if you're gonna go find some monsters, you can just keep typing left, 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 left. Oops, too many lefts. But since I'm a moderator on my own channel, I don't have the Twitch will stop you from typing the same thing over and over. But you can get around this by doing upper and lower cases. So if I do little a, big A, little a, big A, little a, big A, over and over, that's how you can get around the Twitch little anti-spam thing. And when I want to get out of here, I just hit T for triangle, W for up, O for select gate out, W up again, O, and now we're back to the lobby. But there you have it. That's TwitchPlaysFragment in a nutshell. A couple of things I didn't mention before, so let's go back and revisit those right now. So, by default, PCSX2 has a lot of information up here on the title bar. And we defined over here in config that the window program name is called PCSX2. So if it's going off the default title bar, Node.js is not going to be listening to your PCSX2 emulator. You're going to have to go to where your emulator is. You're going to have to go to, I think it's INIS. Nope. Wait, yes. So if you go to INIS and right here, PCSX2 underscore UI.ini, you're going to want to edit this. You're going to have to scroll down, and it was TitleTemplate right down here. Line 110 for PCSX2 1.6.0. This is going to have a long line right here, and I'm just going to condense it down to PCSX2. And now Node.js is looking specifically for that window there, this one you see. So that's very important. And you're going to have to do the same thing if you're going to do Fragment. So let's go ahead and close that one. Let's close that one. Don't need that. So the streaming software is still online, but now there's no PCSX2 emulator, and Node.js is still listening to twitch.tv/dothack network. So now we're going to go back to TwitchPlaysX, config. We're going to rename this to RPCS3. Oops. Exit and save, and I believe we will have to restart this program, so we'll close that. Let's load up node.js, change directory, documents, change directory, Twitch, plays.x, and npm start. So now it's going to be listening for any window that begins with, or not begins with, is RPCS3. So let's load that up. So we have dothack versus right there. And then we're going to go to config, advance, emulator, GUI. Which one was it? Here we go. So settings, emulator, game window title. Right here, click on edit. It's going to have all this %G, %C, %c, %m, all right here. You're just going to type in RPCS3 and hit OK. So if you have the game running, the window that it creates is only RPCS3. So let's move that, and we'll go back to our browser. Now, unlike dothack Fragment, dothack Versus has two different online servers, one for PlayStation 3 only and one for PC only. dothack Fragment, both PS2 and PS3 users all play the same game, but not on Versus. So unfortunately, you're going to have to pick PC or PS3, and you'll be stuck on the lobbies for both of those. So anywho, I don't remember if this still works. I think there was some update that kind of killed my commands. Let's see. Yeah. So there was a RPCS3 update that happened and my controller stopped working, so I'll have to tinker with that again. But in the meantime, it was working for the version I was using previously. But for whatever reason, it's not. It's still listening and it should still be entering commands, which brings up the next topic. You need to assign keys for all these. So let's say, for example, here, that crashed. So for here, we have pads. If you go into pads, you can assign different keyboard buttons, but the emulator's up. So let's go ahead and force it. So go to pads. Right here, it's X input. Oh, because I was using controller. Maybe that was why. So if you go to keyboards as your player one controller, you can assign every button on the controller to whatever button you want on the keyboard, and then that will interpret it into your keyhandler.js. And then you would hit save, and the game should be playing off of that instead. So that's how you do it for RPCS3. You go to pads, make sure it's set for keyboard, set your keys, hit save, and it will be reading that. And then what happens in Node.js will go into the emulator. Now for PCSX2, you're going to go to config, controllers, plugin settings, pad 1, and you're going to click on every one of these and push the button on your keyboard what you want it to be. And it should say WM keyboard for that. Hit save, and that's how you set up your controllers for PCSX2. So there you have it. That is how to create your own TwitchPlaysFragment, TwitchPlays You'll need a streaming service. You'll need the Node.js to listen in on the stuff that's going on from your Twitch channel. And then you need to set up your emulators to use keyboards. You need to make sure your three configs here are all listening to the keys that you assign. And you have to change the title for every window for PCSX2 and RPCS3 to make sure it's listening only on for that window only specifically. You need to go to node.js, change directory. What's the directory that you have stored the files under? And you always need to start off with npm start. Now, rarely, this has actually stopped listening and it reconnects on its own. That's pretty cool. They can do that. But sometimes it will just stop trying to reconnect and will just be flat out dead. So you have to restart the node.js again. And I'm using a low-end PC, so that's also probably part of the delay. This is a PC I don't use. That's why I'm actually remote logged in onto it. So if you have a spare computer that's powerful enough to play these emulators, set it up in the background. I have no keyboard or mouse hooked up to it. I'm just using my keyboard and mouse on my main computer to remote connect to it. And it just sits there in the background. Now, if a pop-up happens on your computer for whatever program you may having also running, then it's not going to make this emulator the active window. So you need to make sure it's always the most active window on your screen. So let's see here. Should be able to go back in. Okay. So there goes. It's still working. It's all set up, and that's how you do it. Just keep on typing your commands ahead of time and the game will catch up. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask us down in the comments, or hop onto our dothack Discord, where you can find all the information on how this began earlier this summer. And I should be able to help you out in the process. Though I would recommend strongly that you set up your own emulator on your PC so you can play these games for yourself with a controller and not through Twitch Plays. But again, that's just an option there for those who are unfortunate enough who can't play it at home on their PC or whatever. You can also play this on your mobile phone through the Twitch.tv apps. So I thank you for watching. I hope you learned something interesting today. You can use this to play any other game besides dothack Fragment and dothack Versus. But for those who are watching, I thank you for your support. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join our dothack Discord. And thank you for watching.